Hello. So I've debated for ages on doing this, I say ages, not that long, but I debated on doing this video because it's not really something I massively want to share with the world, but I thought actually that it would be helpful because I know that when I was going through it, I was looking everywhere for information, so I thought I would share. Excuse my face, I have eczema really badly at the minute, so I'm having to just let it breathe. I can't put anything on it at the minute. Right, so I have been out of action for about a month, and the reason is I was pregnant, and I'm now in the process of losing the baby. I found out when I was 3.5 weeks that I was pregnant. I took a lot of tests. Everything was going fine. I had a tiny bit of spotting at about 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks, so I went for a scan, and everything was normal. They could see the yolk sac, and that was all you really should have seen at that point. And they told me to come back in 2 weeks. I had no spotting, I had no pain at all. And in the first few weeks I felt so ill. I was, really sick, and I was really struggling. I couldn't do anything very much. I took my daughter to school, I came back, I went to bed, I went to pick her up, I came back, I went to bed. That was all I was capable of doing. And then I also got ill on top of having, morning sickness and all of that sort of thing, and so I really was laid up. And then I started to get better from that, and then I got something else, but I wasn't feeling as sick and things like that. And so coming up to my next scan, which I would have been 7 weeks and 5 days, I was not feeling as sick. So I had a little bit of a thing in the back of my head thinking, oh, well, either this is just a much easier pregnancy than my last pregnancy because I was so ill for my last pregnancy, or, something's not right. But I think in the back of my head, I thought, I'm just being a hypochondriac. Everything's fine. I'll see a little baby on the screen, I'll see a heartbeat, everything will be fine, I can relax and stop worrying. So we went with my husband to the scan, but everything wasn't alright. They could still see the yolk sac, and they could see a tiny fetal pole. It was it was 2.1 millimeters, but I was nearly 8 weeks, so it should have been a lot bigger, and they should have been able to see a heartbeat. So they told me to come back in a week and have another scan. And so I mourned. I was feeling pretty rubbish anyway, and then basically that was telling me that we'd lost the baby, or that we were going to lose the baby, and it was a shock. Although I kind of almost was ready for it, I wasn't. And so that first day when I found out was pretty horrific. I cried a lot. I didn't want to see anybody. I became very insular. It's kind of how I go when things go wrong. Very insular. I shut down. And it was mostly better after 2 days. I wasn't feeling as horrific about the whole thing, but it's taken me a while to get back to myself. And so we went for another scan. It's Wednesday today. I went on Monday, so 2 days ago, and there was growth, but it only grown by 1.7 millimeters, so it was 3.7 millimeters, 3.7 millimeters. So it hadn't grown very much, but it had grown. So they booked me in for another scan, which would be next Wednesday, a week from now. To see what's happened. But yesterday I started bleeding. Now I'm not bleeding really heavily, but I am bleeding enough for me to think this is over, especially knowing that there's something wrong with the baby anyway. Strangely, I'm not too bad. I think I expected this to happen. I suppose it's almost a bit of a relief that I have an answer now as to what's going on, because it's been really up in the air and everything's just in limbo, and it's so hard to know what's going on. I've googled so many things, but basically what I've concluded is that you just can't know what's going on in your own body. You just have to wait and see. So yeah, I'm not bleeding really badly right now, but it's enough. And I'm a bit scared about when it actually properly happens, because I don't imagine it's going to be very pleasant. but we can try again. And the one thing that's good for me that's come out of this is that we got pregnant the first time we tried. And with my ex-husband, we tried for 18 months and were unable to get pregnant. So the good news is I can get pregnant. I don't have that worry anymore, because that was massively on the back of my mind, is if we couldn't get pregnant. But we can. So that's good. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. Hopefully this will happen fairly quickly and I'll go through this and we can try again. But yeah, I wanted to share that's what happened. So it's called a miscarriage. I'm nine weeks today, I should have been, and the baby would have died about 6 weeks, so it's taken 3 weeks to start losing the baby. I'm going to be nerve-wracked the next time, because, you know, because I'm going to worry that I've lost the baby and I don't know. So I'm going to see if I can get some early scans next time, hopefully. I'm assuming I get pregnant again. We will have to see. It's hard. It's rubbish, but you know, 1 in 5 pregnancies ends in miscarriage, and that doesn't mean that you can't have a healthy pregnancy. So just keep up hope. If you're going through a similar thing, I feel for you, but just keep up hope, and you know, the Lord will provide. So yep, that's my story. That's why I've been out for a while, and that's what happened to me. If anybody else has gone through anything similar, so hope this helps. Okay.